Welcome back, everyone. Nick and Lex here. Welcome to another video. Today we have Lee in the studio.
Hello.
If you don't know Lee, he has been a follower for a couple of years, and he's also in the comment section under Shifting Perceptions if you want to write to him. And today he's going to show me Genesis from 1986 from the album Invisible Touch. And we're listening to...
It's called The Brazilian.
The Brazilian.
It's the last track on the album. And to me, and I might get some flack for this, but to me, it's the last great song that Genesis wrote.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy this. And
I'm sure I will.
Yeah, just so the viewers know, Genesis was actually what got me to find your channel.
Really?
So,
you looked at Genesis reaction?
Yeah, I had no, actually what happened was I had stopped listening to music for a couple of years because I just got so tired of everything, and everything just sounded the same, and I couldn't find any good new music and everything, and I stopped listening to it. And one night I was like, I really want to hear First the Fifth. So I looked it up just intending to find, because I wasn't even listening to Spotify because I wasn't listening to music. So I was trying to just find the regular song, and then I was like, oh, there's somebody reacting to this. This should be interesting, because watching that made me think of the first time that I heard it.
Yeah.
And so I was like hooked after that. So that was the first time I saw you guys.
That's crazy. Yeah. So you saw our First Fifth video?
Yep.
That's insane.
It came up first, and that's just what I watched. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That I guess we were at that time in the algorithm. I guess we had freshly uploaded, because sometimes that happens, that I even see videos of us. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. That, like, oh, you know, because usually I don't see anything of our channel. But that's such a cool story. Thank you for sharing that, because that means a lot. And you know what, before we did the channel, we were also not listening to anything. We were just listening to one album by this German band called Anne Mai Kanterei.
That's the one I told you about. Yeah, I texted you, and you're like, "Oh, yeah,
the guy with the really cool
and they're
voice.
on your
They're on the thing." So that's all we were listening to. That's why it's also the last track on the cassette, because that's where we basically were at in life. And then we did the channel, and then we started with Peter Gabriel, the first song, "In Your Eyes," and then I played Dream Theater for Alexia, and then we got into this whole universe. So that's kind of cool. We were both at a point we were just done with music for a while, you know. So that's it. I guess it just happens, because I was also only listening to the same stuff, and this was such a breeze of fresh air.
For me too.
Yes, everything we've been doing here. So the Brazilian it is today. Let us know what you think of this song, 1986 Genesis. A lot of people, you know, jumped off before, like with maybe then there were three, or what's the one that is standing in front of a window? Duke. With Duke, a lot of people left Genesis there. Were you still listening to Genesis when this came out? Let us know, and let's see. All right, here we go with the Brazilian. Let's go. Go. Volume. Electronic drums, I love it. So different. Peter Banks is a genius.
Tony Banks. Tony Banks. Tony Banks.
What did I say?
You said Peter Banks. It's okay. We've been doing this all day.
Yeah, we've been up since pretty early, but yeah, no, I really love this. I love even though a lot of people don't like electronic drums, I love even if it's sequenced, I don't care. It sounds amazing. And then keep that going, and then Tony Banks, I don't know why I say Peter Banks. Tony Banks, like, making the best of the technology at the time, make it like he's still working at his best potential with what is new. You know, you have. I mean, that's what for example, when I remember when with Metallica, when Load came out. Now I understand them. I know it's not a good album, and your face is like. Load. But I guess, I think they were just trying to move with the time, and it was like 1995 or 94, and so they had to, I guess, they wanted to be relevant with everything else. I know that's a bold move and it's disappointing for the fans, but I think it's just
here's the thing.
Music business back in the day.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's like I want musicians to play what they want to play, because if they're not being happy, then they're not going to put out good music, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But if you're going to totally change who you are, don't call yourself Metallica. Like, after And Justice for All, they should have changed their name. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I mean, yes, I do. I mean, I do. And Justice for All is my favorite album.
Me too.
Now that we're talking about Metallica. And yes, I mean, there's a big difference between the Black album and Justice for All, but I guess that's what made them so big. I guess.
Yeah, but it became more commercial.
Yeah, and all the songs from 7 to 8 minutes were like 3-4 minutes. So yeah, I think Bob Rock had a lot to do with that. But let's go back.
I don't know how we got on Metallica from Genesis, but okay.
Yeah. But it's not, so far I'm loving it. It's really, really original. I'm really digging it. Really cool. Tribal.
There's a lot going on with the drums.
Yeah.
very simple.
But beautiful, like whammy action. Yep. Oh. Was that Mike?
Yeah.
Wow. He's a good guitar player.
I think he's a better bass player, but he does play guitar.
But I love that he, has the courage to say, I'm going to play a solo right there.
I think they just didn't want to hire anybody else.
Maybe, yeah. It even reminded me of, again, I talk a lot about Holdsworth, but Holdsworth does that a lot. He plays a lot of, just like Jeff Beck, a lot of whammy bar action. It's very expressive. And I didn't really think a lot about the whammy bar when I started playing guitar. I didn't really use it. I would always disconnect it.
Yeah.
And now it's just like an essential thing, like bending notes, kind of when you slide off your little bend. And this was beautifully done. It's just like very melodical solo and with a lot of feel because of that whammy bar. But the whole song, that dun 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 bam bam, beautiful. Is that like the only instrumental in that time period of Genesis, or are there others?
That might be the only one that I can think of offhand.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. So I started listening to Genesis with Abacab, and I loved that album.
Oh,
and then there were a couple videos, because we grew up with MTV. There were a couple videos from Duke, and so I bought the Duke album, and I did not like it.
Okay.
I still, to this day, there's a few songs I like, but overall, and I know a lot of people are like, this is the best album of Genesis.
Really? Oh. Okay.
I've tried. I don't get it. It's not bad, but it's just not my thing.
Right.
And then I started going back to the Peter Gabriel era. So that to me was like this, and then of course, Trick of the Tail and Wind and Wuthering and all those, and then there were three, I think, is a fantastic album too. After Abacab, it's like everything, like for me, there were good songs on each album, but it got less and less and less and less,
Yeah, it got...
So I don't know those albums very well.
Right,
so.
right. Yeah, let's see. Let me just look at the timeline where this one fits in here on Spotify. Let's see. Oh my God, there's so many live albums in between as well. So far, this one we've only heard
you've done a couple.
Trespass, only a couple.
And the Knife, you did the Knife, and
Nursing
Stagnation,
Crime. I guess we've done a few.
I think you still have a few to listen to on there because you haven't listened to.
Let's see.
Shoot, what is the name of the song?
So the musical box, yes.
Four Absent Friends, I think that, and Harlequin, you haven't listened to those two. I think those are the only two.
Yes. But what a great album, and then Foxtrot, masterpiece.
That's my favorite.
Ultimate masterpiece.
All-time favorite.
Watcher of the Skies. I mean, that we just did that a couple of weeks ago. Horizons.
That's my favorite. Can Ready. Utility and the Coastliners is.
Yeah,
I even like that better than Supper's Ready.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, this is just a band with an amazing catalog. I mean, Selling England, The Lamb, Trick of the Tail, Wind and Wuthering. I said that was my favorite Phil album, but I think I've changed it now to Trick.
Really?
Yeah. And then there were Three is amazing. Yeah. So Duke, I have to listen to more. Abacab, I love a lot of what's on there.
You haven't heard? Have you heard No Reply at all?
No.
Oh, I should have picked that one.
It's okay. We can still do it. And then Genesis. This is the first reaction we've ever did on the channel.
Right.
Silver Rainbow.
Silver Rainbows. Yep.
And Alexia and I were guessing who it was.
That was hilarious.
Very hilarious. Yeah. So Invisible Touch. That's what we just did. And then I Can't Dance. I guess that's when it got super commercial, right? 91. Yeah. Okay.
So this is the album I was talking about before.
Calling All Stations. Also, that is without Phil Collins or Gabriel. Right. That's crazy. Yeah. I would really like to.
There's some good songs on it. I mean, it doesn't sound like Genesis. It's very different.
Okay.
But I really like it. Yeah. I think there's some really good songs on there.
Wow, that's bizarre. I did not know that there was an album by Genesis without Phil or Peter. That's crazy.
It's funny because my friend Barb, her favorite album was also Trick of the Tail. And she texted me about a year ago. She's like, did you know that there was this album without Phil Collins? And I'm like, you didn't know this?
That's amazing. Oh, man, that's so cool. But yeah, I mean, that's the only regret I'll ever have to not have seen Genesis live. Because I had the chance.
Oh, did you?
No. I mean, we were, Alexia and I were already together, you know, in 2010, and we could have gone and see them, but since we did not know them, they were, I guess, a bit younger at the time, at least, and
I don't know why I never went to see them.
you never went to see them at all,
No.
ever?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Nope.
Yeah. And
Nope.
you've
So
seen
that's
hundreds and hundreds of bands.
I don't know about that, but I've seen a lot. But I'm glad that the musical box is around because when I saw them,
I think that's the closest to being able to see Peter Gabriel.
Yeah.
You know, and that time of Genesis. But
Yeah, because he doesn't do any of the old stuff anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, when we went to see, remember when we saw Peter Gabriel, and someone is like, "Supper's ready." Remember? It was amazing, but but I really enjoyed this. This was, I mean,
Good.
it was different, and it sounds like a different band, but musically, it's still amazing.
Well, and see, like, to me, like I was saying earlier, like Phil Collins is known for In the Air Tonight, like the drums and that. This was, to me, 20 times, and this isn't even close to what
because
he
In
can
the Air
do.
Tonight, basically all he does like the
That's really it.
That's all. Like, that's not even a drum solo.
Well, see, and I've thought the same. It's interesting because I've always thought the same thing about John Bonham because everybody's like, "Oh, he's such a great drummer."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening to some of his music and I'm like, it's just because of his sound to me.
Yeah.
But then when you guys did the physical graffiti reaction, I was like, okay, there's some really good stuff on here.
Yeah,
I just never paid attention to it.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, but I never really paid attention to his drumming before. You know?
Have you heard that song Bonzo's
Mantra? Uh-huh. Yep.
That is insane because you can hear like you can almost hear that he's going
around
in a circle.
Yep.
It's like, wow. First time I heard that, I was like, this guy's on a different level. And then, of course, I started listening to like Neil Peart, and before that, Mike Portnoy, who's amazing.
Yes.
And did you see that video, Danny Carey, what Mike Portnoy is trying to play Tool?
No.
It's hilarious.
Oh, really?
You should do that. You should do that.
Okay.
But
yeah, see, and I grew up listening to Ian Pace from Deep Purple, Carl Palmer,
those are just,
Bill Bruford. I mean, those are the people that I listen to.
Yeah,
you know,
Bruford is amazing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just and he played with Alan Holdsworth a lot.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah.
I
There's
didn't
like
know that.
literally Bill Bruford albums where Alan Holdsworth is the main guy. Like, there's like this in England. There's like this street, a crossroad, and it says Holdsworth Bruford. It really exists.
Oh, wow.
I looked it up on Google. It's
Oh,
amazing.
okay.
So yeah, but. Again, thank you so much for watching. This has been an amazing video. Oh my God, look, we are like the power.
How did we do this?
I don't know, but we just love to talk about music. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.